Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm so glad to be back for another Five Things Friday after my tech guy took a camping weekend. How dare he? So we had a Friday off. He's cracking up. I have to say happy birthday to Robin. I'm so glad you're joining us for your birthday. Cheers to that. And I also want to know what everyone has planned for the weekend. I just saw Arzani from Arizona pop up, and I always think of heat when I see your name, Arzani, and it's supposed to be 107 in Ashland this weekend, which is just wrong on so many levels. I can't take it. 107. I'm going to be hiding out in my basement all weekend, just sipping like ice cold water. That's all I've got. Okay, I am so excited today to have a new mystery writer as my guest for Five Things Friday. I have to tell a quick little story. The way that I got connected with this particular author is she happened to post a picture of my Sloane Krause series with, I believe, if my memory serves me right, like a delicious looking dark chocolate stout or something dark. Gonna have to ask her when she comes on. And I was like, oh, a fellow mystery writer who loves craft beer, we have to be best friends. So I think I've basically been stalking her ever since. So she, I'm sure, thinks I'm crazy. But I'm super excited to welcome to our Five Things Friday author edition, Esme Addison. Esme's new book, A Spell for Trouble. Look at that cover. Oh my gosh. And it's set in an apothecary. I'm sold. I can't wait to talk to her about this. Just released, and she's here with us today. So help me welcome Esme. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for that warm welcome.
It's true. I stalked you because of beer.
It's a fine reason to stalk me.
So before I get into book stuff, tell me, how did you come to discover craft beer?
So when I discovered, so basically I've always been a wine drinker, and it's interesting. I went out to eat one day and I ordered a wine and I hated it. And the busboy saw me, I guess, looking upset, and he recommended a beer. And I said, well, I'm not really a beer drinker. And he said, well, this is like a local beer there in North Carolina, outside of Raleigh. And he said, it's really good. And he said, what kind of wines do you like? And I told him, and he said, okay, you like dry red wine, so maybe you should try like a stout or a porter. And he kind of explained what they were to me. I had no clue. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I tasted, it was a stout. It was very heavy and thick and like lots of dark, rich, chocolatey notes. And I loved it. I was very surprised because I didn't think that I was going to be a fan of beer, but beer as in the very light, I won't name names, but like the generic, very light gold beers that you find at the gas station or whatever.
The gas station.
I'm not a fan, whatever. I'm not a fan, but like the artisan small batch like porters and stouts, I'm a huge fan of them.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny? It's kind of like I'm always intrigued by just people who have palates like that, who can say, okay, you like this, you should try this, and then it works. That's always amazing to me.
Yeah. And he was just random busboy. He was like, let's talk beer. And was a huge like craft beer fan. And I was hooked. And immediately I'm the kind of person when I find something that I like I research obsessively, become like an expert in it. And so I discovered like craft beer was huge in North Carolina. I guess it's huge everywhere. Tons of breweries. And I went on this like mission to like figure out what I liked, what kind of beers. And so I love it. And so of course, I'm a cozy mystery reader myself, and so whatever I like, I have to find those cozies so I can learn more about it, like enjoy it. So I had to find all the craft beer cozies, and that's how I found you.
That's awesome. And then I started stalking you, so it's all good, right? Okay, my husband, who's my tech guy, he is a home brewer, so he says like North Carolina is on his list because apparently, yes, it's well known for its craft beer, right?
There's tons. You can't. It's a Southern expression. You can't throw a rock without hitting a brewery. And down here, they're everywhere.
That's fantastic. Okay, so I want to segue into your debut cozy here, and I want you to give everybody watching, and I'm already seeing a lot of comments from people who've already read it and loved it, so that's so exciting. Renee, you need to read this book, so you're going to hear so much about Esme. But one of the things that I find so interesting, when I first started writing cozies, I wrote a different series first, this outdoor series, and at the time, Twilight had just come out, and there was a lot of like, witch stuff. And I remember my agent, when I met him the first time, he said something about trends in publishing and how at that point in time, no one was buying anything that had anything to do with, let's say, a mermaid. Um, and then how those trends like cycle through like every 5 to 10 years or so. So had you been wanting to write this book for a long time? Like, tell us a little bit about how it came to be.
Okay. So initially, I wasn't, there's not a long story about how I was trying to get it published and couldn't in that sense. It was difficult to get it published, but so I always wanted it to be about mermaids. It wasn't supposed to be about witches. So it ends up being about water witches. And so nobody wanted a cozy about mermaids. There's really no precedence for it. So the one publisher that was interested in it, and everyone liked the idea, but they're like, yeah, mermaids, that's not going to work. No one's going to read that. And so
I would have read it. Hello. Yeah.
I believe that somebody would like the story, but the publisher said, I like the idea, but let's make them witches.
Right.
Okay. So
Fine.
I had to think, right. So I had to think, but I still wanted to stick with the mermaid theme because that was like the whole point for me, the story. So I just decided that if these women who are descended from mermaids lost the ability to shapeshift into mermaid form, they would still have certain abilities, like the command of water. They would have some healing abilities and some other things, and that to other people they would be perceived as witches, water witches. So I thought, okay, I can make this work. I can make this appear to be like a water witch type cozy mystery, but have this huge backstory about mermaids. So that's what I did.
And it works so well. And I have to say, like, one of my very first mystery that I wrote, I had this touch of the lead character's grandmother, Gam, was into sort of this similar, like, kind of mystic background. And I think it works so well, and you did it beautifully. So give us a little rundown about Alex and the apothecary and your fictional town in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, it's a fictional town. I wish it was real, but it's not.
Yeah, but that's the best thing about a cozy. We can pretend.
Right. Okay, so Alexandra Sobieski is born in Connecticut, worked in New York. Her father, who was a police chief, recently passed, and her mother drowned when she was a child. So she's grown up with this kind of by the book, law and order kind of father, and she's very goal oriented, and she's a risk analyst in New York. And her life kind of goes sideways. Her father passes after illness. She quits her job because she thought she should have got promoted after working her butt off, and she didn't. So out of the blue, her aunt, who she is estranged from, invites her to their little town in North Carolina at the beach. And her father has always kept her from this side of the family, which is her mother's sister, for some reason. He just told her, like, trust me, you don't want to hang out with these people. There's something weird going on down there. So she goes down there, and she really just wants to get some R&R, hang out at the beach, and reconnect with her cousins who she spent time with as a child. And when she's there, there's a murder, and it looks like it's something someone took from the apothecary, some sort of herb that may have poisoned somebody. And of course, the police detective, who is very handsome, square jaw.
That says it all.
Right, very handsome Detective Jack, thinks that the aunt did it. So she has to, of course, investigate and find out what really happened. And while she's doing this, she also discovers that her family has some secrets. And
they do.
Have to do with their heritage, which has some supernatural elements to it.
Yeah, and I think it's such a strong female story too, and I'm seeing in the comments people are like, no, mermaids are my favorite, because I think there is that power that we see in women, especially water, and I'm so drawn to that.
Yeah, and I really wanted to create, I mean, there's men and there's strong men in the story as well, but I really wanted to create like a very kind of female centric, strong family. So you've got the aunt, and she has two daughters, and then the cousin, and they're just really like the family is very like a very strong theme that family is more important than anything. But yeah.
That's awesome. Somebody, Stasia says she just bought the book. It's next on her list. Yay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so I asked you to come up with 5 things that you're going to share with us today. And then after we wrap those up, I have 5 extra questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready for your number 1? What's the first thing you want us to know?
Okay. Number 1. So I was a military spouse for about 15 years. I think that's, I don't know if everyone knows that. It's in my bio, but not everyone reads that. So my husband was in the Marine Corps for 20 years, and we traveled around the world a lot of traveling, but it was an interesting life. And I think as I write more, those military elements will be in the story as well. So I think it was very impactful in my life.
Well, and I would assume that travel, like all of those experiences of living in different places, would seep in then too, because you've seen so many different regions and parts of the country. Did you travel internationally too with his placements?
I did, and that's going to be my number 2.
Oh, good. Okay, hey, it's like I knew.
But yeah, so in the place, the nice thing about the Marine Corps is that their bases are always on the beach, always on the coast, which is great. So the location of Bellamy Bay is actually very close to where one of the places that we lived on the coast of North Carolina.
Oh, so it's inspired by that.
Yeah, it really is. And there's actually there's a military base that's nearby, and that you'll get to hear more about that in book 2, which I just turned in about 2 weeks ago.
There's a teaser for everybody. I'm curious. My brother-in-law and his wife were in the Air Force for many years. He just retired a few years ago after 20 years, and they went everywhere too. We always loved it because when they were based in Germany, we would go visit them. When they were in Alaska, did you enjoy that lifestyle, or were you completely burnt out by the end of that much travel?
I loved it. We moved every 3 years, and I've always been a big traveler, and so I was fine with it. We only in the Marine Corps, there's only like one place that you can go out of the country, and that is Japan, which is my number 2, that we lived in Japan. But we moved up and down the East Coast, and we could have gone to California, but both of our families. I'm from North Carolina, and at the time, his family was in New Jersey. They have since moved back to Poland, but so we kind of went up and down the East Coast, and then over to the Pacific.
Got it. Okay, before you move on to number 3, I think this is a great question from Catherine. She wants to know, are water witches part of the Polish mythology, or did you make that up for the book?
That part, well, I think witches are part of every culture, honestly. Women, magical women, women with abilities, but the water witch part I created, but the mythology of the mermaid was absolutely from Polish culture. So that is based on the Mermaid of Warsaw, which is this myth. And if you go to Warsaw, which we did last year when we could travel, there's statues of this mermaid like everywhere, and there's a story about how she basically protected the town in kind of historical times, and they're still grateful, so that she's everywhere. She's on like magnets and T-shirts, and she's like a strong part of the story. So that's not made up, but making the family water witches was made up.
That's great. I can imagine, and I do intend the pun here, but I would take such a deep dive into that research. Did you just go down a rabbit hole of, yeah?
I did. I think I have researched exhaustively about that topic. I found everything. I've clicked on every link that I could find. I've ordered and read every book that I could find. Yes, I mean, I feel like I've read everything that I could, because I wanted it to be like, even though I'm writing paranormal elements into my story, I like to have it based on 100% like facts, whatever I can find. So anything that's based it on the story, the actual myth, and read accounts from academics, and it's anything I can find. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best part of writing, that you get to take those real touches and then weave them into something fictional when you're creating this world, which you did so well in this book. Okay, moving on to number 3. Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, of course.
I need to get my charger. It's like right there, and I'm going to have to disappear for 1 second. I'm so sorry.
It's part of the mystery. We'll be like, where did Esme go? She's here. Bye-bye. And I have a little hint of a nose. Yeah, isn't it so interesting? Cindy says it's such a great concept, and Catherine wants a mermaid magnet. I think we all need mermaid magnets in our life. That is true.
And I have one actually on my refrigerator that I got when I was there.
That's awesome.
It's the only mermaid thing I got when I was there, but yeah.
That's great. Okay, moving on. What is your number 3?
Number 3. Oh yeah, I am a mother of 3 boys. And that doesn't seem like pretty spectacular, but it's always rare when I meet someone and like 3 boys, it's like, I don't know, it's like a special club of moms of 3 boys. It's a lot, but it's fun.
And I'm a mom of 1 boy, and 1 boy tires me out. So I bow down to you with 3. What are their age ranges?
9, 12, and 19.
9, 12, and 19. Okay, yeah. I have a new driver in my house. He just turned 16, so that's a whole new element of, yeah.
Nerves.
Uh-huh. And in North Carolina, is school on, or are you also, in addition to writing, being teacher mom too?
Our school starts next week, Monday,
Okay.
and we're doing virtual school for everyone. So
Yeah, that's us too.
And the funny thing is that for my 9-year-old, I actually homeschooled him from kindergarten to 2nd grade. And this past year was the first year I got him into school. I was like,
No.
done.
Yeah.
And now he's back home again. but he's doing like the virtual school, like through the school system,
Yeah.
not the actual homeschool curriculum, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole new
How
world.
about
Is it hard to find writing time? I mean, I guess we don't know yet what the new virtual will look like. For us here in Oregon, they keep saying like, oh, we've improved upon it. So I'm hoping that, over the summer they're able to kind of fine tune it maybe a little bit.
right? It's interesting. It's interesting for our area. They were offering you can go to school for 2 weeks, go to school for 1 week, come home for 2, and just do that. And I just thought it's very inconsistent, and I'd rather just have them at home until they can figure it out.
Right. Yeah, that's a smart move. Marie says she's a mom of 4 boys. So Marie, we both, yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
You win.
That's a good segue with 4, because let's move on to what is your number 4?
Okay. Number 4, one of my obsessions. It's really 2 things. I love fake food.
Oh.
and I love tiny food, which is the weirdest thing, right? But so when I was in Japan, they have, like, when you go to the restaurants, they have these replicas of fake food on plates, like, and you can go and like look at the dishes. And so it just makes me happy to see that. Like, I love fake food. I like toy food. I have a niece, and she has, like the little groceries and like cakes and pies and pancakes and pizzas. And, like, I just like sit down and play with her. I love it. And so when I got on Instagram, the first thing I looked for was like, do they have fake food? And yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. I was just going to say, do you know Tiny Kitchen? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that one. I mean, there's so many, but like it's like a cake and like a slice and like little sandwiches, and I love it.
Okay, if you don't follow her too, you should follow. I'll send you a private message on this when we're done. Little Bitty Delights. Do you know her? She knits and makes these beautiful little mini cakes, and you could have them as earrings or on your desk. Mm-hmm.
I think I have something where there's like keychains and earrings, so maybe it might be her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good obsession. That's not one I think of often, but very, very nice.
Right.
Okay, and last but not least, what's your number 5?
Okay, and this is keeping with the culinary theme. And by the
Okay,
way, I love your bake shop series just as much as I love the Sloan Krause.
thank you.
And yeah, um, I love. So I got into this when I was in Japan. I love Japanese pastries. Are you familiar with like the? You're in the West Coast. They may have some like a lot of Japanese like bake shops and things. They're just so like they're beautiful and elegant and like they're not super sweet and they're just like delicious and they're pretty. So when we lived in Japan, like we got into like just we would always like go to the Japanese bakeries and when we moved back to the States, we found in like the East Coast it's really hard to find them. But yeah, I love that. So like when we went to Hawaii a couple of years ago, we found there's a bunch of them there, and we always have to visit them and like try everything and determine the best one. And but that's my other thing. I love Japanese pastries, not
That's
just to eat them, but to look at them.
I know you. They're so beautiful. They are like works of art, and they're also like light and airy and delicate. I feel like that Japanese culture comes through in terms of the time that a pastry chef would spend. I'm in Southern Oregon, but Seattle has a lot of really amazing Japanese restaurants. So, no wonder I was stalking you. We love all the same things.
Yeah.
Okay, those are great 5 things. So fantastic. I now have 5 questions. See, I still figure out where my hand goes. I have 5 questions for you. They're not hard hitting. Don't worry. This is not like, cozy mystery expose hour. No.
Okay.
Okay. My number 1 question for you is what's the most unexpected thing that you've discovered since officially writing mysteries and having your first book out in the world?
Um, I think that even though I have this book out with the series, like I have so many ideas, and like I'm not. I still want to write more. Like the ideas aren't stopping. I still want to, write more series. And like I guess I thought that once I had the first book out, it was the creativity would slow down, and I would just focus on this one. But it's like I just have more ideas and more things I want to write about. It's not. I feel like I need more me's to write. I think it's a surprise.
No, I think that's so true. And there are quite a few readers on this live who I know are also working on first mysteries and writing too. And I think that's a really important piece that you bring up. And I felt that same way initially. It's like, oh my gosh, I've put all this work into writing one book. That's it. And I have found like the more you write, the more that creative energy comes through. And yeah, finding ideas is never a problem. It's just finding the time to
Right.
actually write them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Number 2, what do you think is the biggest myth about writing mysteries?
Biggest myth. I don't. What myths do I know about mysteries? I don't know a myth. I don't. That's a hard one. I mean, I wonder if people think it's easy to write mysteries. I don't. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if people think that or not, but it's not. It's not easy to do it well and make sure you stump the reader. I mean, you can do a mystery and it's like you guess it. Like I hate that when you read a book and like you already know. So my goal, and I guess it's every author's goal, really is to try to stump the reader and put in as many plausible red herrings as possible. I guess that might be it. Maybe if readers think it's probably easy just to like crank out those mysteries, it's not. It's very
No.
challenging, but it's a fun challenge.
Yeah, I think that is a really pervasive myth that people think, especially, because a mystery, unlike some other genres, does tend to have a formula that we follow, right? And so that then because there's some level of a formula that it might be easy, but no, I think it's really cerebral too, because you end up feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure that I'm keeping people guessing and then remember where you've hidden all those red herrings and make sure they all get closed at the end. And yeah.
Actually, now that I've listened to you, I have another answer. Can I give
Okay,
another
good.
answer?
Nope, only one allowed. You're done. No, I'm kidding.
Here. I think a lot of people think that cozy mysteries are all light and fluffy and not like serious writing, not a serious mystery. And it's not the truth. Like, I think those really brightly colored, like whimsical covers can be very misleading. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you can find like a very light and fast paced, fluffy, fun, cozy, but there's a lot of like really good, like deep mysteries that you just really want to sink your teeth in as a mystery reader and try to figure it out. And I think that's one.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really great one. And just the fact that for me as a mystery reader, first and foremost, I really resonate with books that have that layer of depth, or when I know, like in reading your book, oh, she's done that research. Like I am in this world. I'm feeling the mythology come through the page. So that, yes, sure, we're writing about like a sweet little shore in North Carolina, but there's more at play. And then you get to like weave in all those levels. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees. They're saying good answer, good answer. Okay, number 3 is, dun, 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 what is your best advice for anyone who might want to write a mystery?
I would say read widely in the genre. Make sure you understand all the markers of that genre. If you're doing cozy mystery or, whatever subgenre you're doing, as well as that genre, make sure that you have read a lot so that you understand the genre that you're writing in. Because the last thing you want to do is write a novel and someone says, this is not a mystery, this is suspense, or something like that. Like, it's a very fine line, but you have to know what those are. That's the first one is read. And the second one, learn how to write, the craft of writing, which is like storytelling and writing are two different things. So that, you have to understand the technical aspects of how to write a novel, which is, reading books. You can take online classes, you can go to writers, like seminars, and then you have to practice. We have to write practice novels. Most people aren't going to sell their first book. If you do, it's not going to be your best.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I wrote, not even saying that this is my best, but like I think I've probably written like 4 novels. As an adult, I wrote more as a teenager.
Yeah.
Just so it's like you have to practice, and with each book you get better and you learn more, and you can never learn enough. You can always be a better writer. So I think read in the genre and practice writing and really know your craft before you try to make a business out of it.
Yeah. I talk all the time about in my office right over here. I have stacks and stacks of horrible manuscripts that will never see the light of day. But I think as writers, we have to go through that because it takes time to find your voice and develop that. And then also just learning how the plot comes together. That takes time and reading. And yes, definitely like the professional end of work. I'm a big proponent of making sure that new writers understand that it doesn't just happen magically. You don't just sit down and suddenly like, oh, I've just written a book that's publishable. Probably not.
It takes a lot of work, and one of my favorite craft books is Save the Cat.
Oh yeah.
For novels, which before that one came out, I used the one for screenplays, but I really love that one. It's just kind of it's a very like basic way of, it gives formulas, but you can tweak it and revise it, and it basically tells you that every good story has a formula, whether you recognize that or not, and you see it in movies and television shows, and you see it in books, and if you can stick to that. And then you give the highs and lows and the emotional ups and downs of the story as well as the plot. And it's very helpful.
Yeah. And that's where then you as the writer get to bring that world to life, So maybe you take that and, that's where then you're suddenly seeing water mermaids and witches and yeah. I love it. Okay. Moving on to number 4. If you had to pick any celebrity that you would absolutely die if you saw them reading your book, who would it be?
Oh, God. Celebrity. That's a hard one because I'm not like I love watching movies and TVs, but I'm not like really into like celebrities. I'm trying to think who. I mean, honest.
It could be someone bookish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Oprah was reading it, obviously that would be a coup.
Okay, so done.
Right, that
Oprah.
would be cute. I don't know. I can't even think of like, I don't know. Uh, Duchess Meghan Markle,
Oh,
Duchess of
love her so
Sussex.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of anyone. I mean, I honestly, when I see the common person walking down the street, if they have my book, I'm gonna be like, "Oh my God, they have my book!"
I
You know
know.
what I mean? Like, I'm not
Totally.
even at the point where it needs to be a celebrity, just like a person.
Yes. I'm the same way. I was at the bookstore, I don't know, a few months ago, well, I guess more than a few months because it was pre-pandemic. And a woman was holding my book. And I really was like, I just want to hug her right now. And I feel like if at any point in time in our careers that feeling goes away, that's when you know it's time to like throw it in. Like, okay, we're done. Because yeah, you should absolutely feel joyful if you see someone reading your book, regardless. But I also feel like Oprah
Yeah,
and Megan could team up. Like, why not?
right, right. If I saw you reading it, I'd be happy.
You're sweet.
Authors that I like, if I, because authors like to know that other authors like their work. So, I'm fortunate that I have lots of, peers and friends that are in the mystery space, and we read each other's work. And so sometimes I'll see like on Twitter or something like, "Hey, I read Esme's book and I really loved it." That makes me feel really happy, and I do the same for other writers as well. I'm happy to share the love and support.
Yeah, I know. I think that's one of the best things about the mystery writing community in particular. I talk about it a lot, but I have from day one felt so welcomed in by authors who were like, farther on in their career. And now like I feel like, oh, I get to welcome in this next group. So it's just it
Yeah.
really is very community based. But I think it's because we're all readers first and foremost.
Yeah, I think so. We're all bookworms.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Last but not least, this is the hard hitting one. What's the
Uh,
perfect food and drink item to pair with your book?
oh, that's a great one. Let's see. Well, it could be. I'm from the South. It could be fried fish and a nice tropical IPA, or maybe a grassy Sauvignon Blanc. That would
Ooh.
be a good one. Or if you're out on the beach, maybe a glass of sweet tea,
Mm.
um, iced sweet tea, and what would go with that? Uh, just ice. I think if it's a hot day, just a big frosty glass of iced tea, because you want to get the southern feel of the story as well, because it isn't. That's part of it. I don't think it's the. I was really surprised when I listened to the audiobook. For some reason, she gave some of the characters southern accents, and for I don't know why I never heard them as having southern accents. But I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That sounds good. But
Oh,
it's
that's
a part of the story.
interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, for anyone watching, if you have specific questions for Esme, go ahead and ask them now because I have one last thing for her. But as we've talked about before in the lives, there's that little bit of a delay. So if you have anything else you want to know from Esme, be sure to put them in the comments and I'll check them in a second. But you mentioned, Esme, that you just turned in book 2. What can you tell us about what's next?
Okay. Well, I'm happy to say that the publisher has really embraced the idea of mermaid. So there's a mermaid on the cover, which is
Okay.
in some form, I'll say. It's a beautiful cover, and this one is. I would say the first book is Mermaid Light, and the second one is there's a mermaid festival going on, and you really get to explore the world, the mythology of the mermaid world, and a lot more. So this one has all the mermaids in this one, which I'm super excited about.
Do you have a title or a release date yet?
I do, and the release date I believe is July. Oh, I can't remember. It's like the 7th or the 13th. It's one of those. And Drew's Musing.
2021, right?
Yes, yes, next year.
Yeah, okay.
20. Yeah, so next July it will be coming out. It's either the first or second week,
Okay.
second or third. And we're gonna do a cover reveal on Drew's Musings. She's gonna do that. So. Yeah, and
Nice.
yeah, and it's I'm really happy with the cover. I like the title is interesting because um, I gave them like a list of titles at the very beginning, and they kind of just like randomly picked this one, and it
Uh-huh.
wasn't really relevant to the story, so I had to make it relevant. It
Yeah.
worked out well. Oh, that was the same with the spell for trouble. There was no spell for trouble in the story.
Right.
That the person, the murder didn't happen that way. It happened just like through like something. I don't want to give spoilers, but it was not related, so I had to like change it up and make sure it was relevant. But it worked out very well. So.
Yeah, I know that's something that I think readers are often surprised by. Like, as the author, we don't always get final say in titles or covers. Sometimes that gets punted to the publishing house. Yeah. Okay, we have a few questions coming in for you. Renee wants to know, did you pick the narrator for your audiobook?
I did not, and I sometimes I know you can choose between like three or something and give your input, and I didn't. I had zero say so on this one, but I absolutely loved her. I thought she did a wonderful job, and I have gotten to know her over social media. I asked her if she could take a picture in the studio for my Instagram account, and she did it. And so we talk on social media, and I thought she did a wonderful job.
That's awesome. Okay, Diana wants to know, do you ever overhear conversations in public that inspire the stories that you write then?
I'm not gonna say specifically conversations, but certainly sometimes I'll see a person and just like they will become a character in a story, not like them specifically, but just certain things about them, maybe the way they walk or how they're dressed or something will kind of just spark my imagination. But a lot of times, things that I read in the media, I guess you could say conversations and social media, things like that, will kind of spark ideas. Um, yeah, a lot of times my ideas just come from like things, you hear this maybe as a writer, write the book that you want to read. So like that's really everything that I have written or will have written is something that I wanted to read and it wasn't out there. And and I wanted a cozy mystery with mermaids. So and I didn't see it. So
And we are
I
all
wrote.
grateful that you wanted to write it because the world is a better place because of that. Lillian wants to know, are any of your characters based on people who you know in real life? So this is kind of similar, but actual characters in the book.
Right. No. No one is based on a real person. I will say Aunt Lydia is very loosely inspired by my mother-in-law, but she's not like Lydia at all because Aunt Lydia is she's like a little emotional and feisty, and my mother-in-law is, of course, she's independent and all those kind of things, but she's my Polish mother-in-law is very loving and nurturing and just so sweet and considers me her daughter. She has four boys, so I'm
Oh,
her only daughter. Well, she has other daughter-in-laws, but she considers me like a daughter, and just like this really warm, wonderful person. So really, the family in the story is inspired by her and the way she has treated me and welcomed me into her family. So that's where that family comes from. So that is absolutely inspired by that, my welcome into the family. But in terms of the other characters, there's no like particular person, just kind of like. But I do like, for example, Minka is very much. She's one of the cousins, and she loves being a water witch. Like she loves mermaids, and she's very fanciful, and she's kind of like the good, happy, whimsical witch kind of archetype. And like again, I don't know anyone like that, but I just probably know these that the characters just come to you, or you write the story, and the people that are gonna like populate that world just kind of pop. They just come up. They just appear. I don't know how to explain it.
I know.
I
I still
think.
to this day don't know how to explain it. Okay, we have one more question. We have a bunch, but we'll wrap this one up because I want to be conscious of everyone's time. But Catherine wants to know about your writing process. Are you a plotzer or a pantser?
I am a plotter. I used to be a pantser before I got a book deal.
Right. Funny how that happens.
I
Yeah.
right. I was writing for me and just meandering all over the place. But now buckling down and getting serious, like I do a very exhaustive synopsis, and it's usually like 40 pages. It's really detailed. And it includes like all the character details. It has the entire plot, all the twists, and I work off that. And I vary from it a little bit, but like maybe 10, 15%. So sometimes there are things that will change, but I use this document as like the Bible of the book, and I pretty much stick with this. I spend like about a month writing that out, and then I'll go and then start the story.
Yep, I'm the same. Still to this day, 20 something books later, I can't not plot it out before just because, yeah, otherwise I get lost.
Yeah, it's too easy to get lost, and then you're like, because the last book that I wrote before this, because I have another mystery that it's like 90,000 words written, and it's like I got there and I was like, where was I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no. Yeah, I know, right? Pull it back in. No, no.
still want to get out, but it's like, and I did have like a very brief synopsis, like a little thing I wrote, but it wasn't enough. And now I'm like, I gotta have to go back and read it and like figure out what I was doing, and it makes me tired to think about it, but I do want to go back. But so that I don't do that anymore.
Someday, someday. So, A Spell for Trouble is out right now in hardcover, in audio, and in ebook, right? And readers can get it anywhere books are sold. Yeah,
That's correct. Anywhere.
anywhere. I always say,
Yeah.
try to support your local bookstore if you can, but you can get them anywhere.
Right.
Will it release in paperback too, or will it just be in hardcover?
For right now, the plan is hardback. I will find out about that probably in another month or so. And if it does, then that would be probably sometime next year. If you follow me on my I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I have a newsletter at esmeaddison.com, and I put any kind of updates, any kind of information. I put them in all of those places because it's so hard to keep up, right? With everything. But I do put that information there. I do have Fountain Books in Virginia. Richmond, Virginia has signed copies. There's signed copies. Page 158 Books in Wake Forest, North Carolina has signed copies. And then Bookmarks in Winston-Salem, North Carolina also has signed books as well. But you can use like bookshop.org or whoever you choose and order books.
Awesome. Well, and I will make sure that once our live wraps up here in a minute, I will post the video again, and it will be on my page. And for anyone, I'll have links to all of Esme's sites, so you can go follow her, sign up for her newsletter, find out the cover reveal that's upcoming for book number 2 that will be out next July. So exciting. Well, it's been such a delight to talk to you in real life after my beer stalking online. When COVID is over, we'll have to have a beer in real life.
Yeah, that would be great.
And thanks to everyone. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're wrapping up. I was just going to say, what's your favorite beer? But we can talk offline.
I love an IPA, but I'm with you. I can't, none of the watered down, like, no light, mass produced beers. I do love a nice stout during winter. Like right now in summer, a stout seems a little too heavy just because, like I said, it's going to be 107 here. But yeah, I like a nice hoppy IPA or a red. I love a hoppy red. Yeah. I know everybody's saying thanks to Esme. You've just been so great. It's so fun to get to know you in real life and know more about your book and be excited about what's coming next. I'm going to say bye to you, and then to everybody else, I have some info on what's coming next. Thank you, Esme.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh my gosh, so fun. It's not a joke that I stalked her too, in case you think that I'm exaggerating. No, because I'm like, oh, she has a brand new debut mystery and she loves craft beer. Yay. I just wanted to briefly mention that our story collaboration for my Sloane Krause series has kicked into high gear. I shared the first pages earlier this week and the next assignment. So if you haven't followed along with that. Be sure to join the collaborative cozy mystery. I got to say that 3 times fast. The group below. It's not too late to catch up. And then I have a special 5 Things Friday planned, same time next week. We're going to talk all things writer questions, writer advice questions, all things you want to know about writing. We're going to have a full focus on writing because the course that I've been working so hard on is almost ready, so it will be a good preview to what's to come with that. And then I have quite a few new authors who are going to be joining me later this month. At the end of the month, my friend Hannah Dennison will be here to talk about her new mystery that I got to read an early copy of and do a blurb for, and I can't wait to share it with you because it's a little bit like the Durrells of Corfu meet something magical on the English seaside. So I'll have quite a few authors coming up for the next few months. I've been so enjoying this. I hope you all have too. Oh no, Arzani says it's 112 in Arizona. So I can't really complain about my 107. Many apologies to you for that. I'm going to be sweating my way out of my basement all weekend long. And I don't know, hopefully I'll have some good reads to go along with it. As always, thanks so much for joining me for this special edition of 5 Things Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend and happy reading.